Hello everyone, myself I'm Divya, working as Assistant Professor in Marri Laxman Reddy Institute of Technology and Management. So in today's session, I'm going to discuss a course that is Environmental Science. So in Environmental Science, the first unit we have is the ecosystem. So I'm starting with the ecosystem. So the topics we have in ecosystem are definition, scope and importance of ecosystem, and classification, structure and function of ecosystem. And we have is a food chains, food webs, ecological pyramids, flow of energy, biogeochemical cycles and bioaccumulations. And the finally we have is biomagnification, ecosystem value and services and carrying capacity. So I'm going to start with the first topic from the ecosystem, that is definition, importance of ecosystem, and we are going to learn how the ecosystem is classified and also how it is structured and what is the function of ecosystem. Ecosystem, in general terms, we say it as an interaction between the living organisms with the non-living organisms. So, living organisms are nothing but a biotic components, and the non-living organisms are the abiotic components. So, we'll see the definition of the ecosystem first. So, ecosystem is a self-regulating group of biotic community. Biotic community, in a sense, like all living components come under the biotic community. And this biotic community of species will be interacting with one another with their non-living environment, which is nothing but a abiotic components, exchanging the energy and matter. So when the biotic components and abiotic components interact with each other, they will be exchanging the energy and matter. So ecosystem. So the word eco refers to the environment and the system is the interaction. So it interacts with the environment. All the biotic components will be interacting with the abiotic components in the environment. So the word ecosystem is defined as, like, eco means environment, system is nothing but the interaction. So ecosystems are of two types. One is natural and artificial. Artificial, we can also call it as a human made. So artificial ecosystems are like agro ecosystems and urban ecosystems, as we can see. And natural ecosystems, all we know is a forest, river and mountains, etc. Ecosystem is a basic functional unit of ecology. It is a basic functional unit and it studies the ecology is a study of ecosystem. So ecology deals with the study of organisms in their natural home interacting with the surroundings. You can see image here. The organisms will be interacting with the surroundings. So living organisms will be interacting with the non-living organisms wherever space. So that you call it as a ecosystem. And ecology is a term that it is a study of ecosystem. Ecosystems are of different types, providing the natural home for the fauna and flora. So flora is nothing but the plant life and fauna is the animal life. So all plants come under the flora, all animals come under the fauna. Coming to the scope and importance of ecosystem. Ecosystems are providing various commercial products like medicines, drugs for human welfare. And the importance of ecosystem, as it regulates the flow of water and nutrients. And also this ecosystem helps conserve the soil and build soil organic matter. And finally, this ecosystem helps in the purifying the air and water. Concept of ecosystem. So a transfer of energy is taking place when biotic components are interacting with the abiotic components. So transfer of energy throughout the ecosystem through a series like plants, animals and microorganisms, etc. The main concept of ecosystem is the interaction. From the word itself, we can say that a system is nothing but interaction. It is an environmental interaction. So in the environment, we have both the components, biotic components and abiotic components. So interaction between the biotic components and abiotic components, we call it as the ecosystem. So the major concept of ecosystem is a interaction of biotic and abiotic components in the environment. Now, what is biotic and what is abiotic? Biotic, simply we call it as a living components. All living components like plants, animals, humans come under the biotic components. And next is the abiotic components. There is a non-living components, all the like sunlight, air, soil, moisture, all the living things come under the abiotic components. So interaction between these two, biotic and abiotic components, is the ecosystem. So we can see some images of the biotic components. Those are the all living components: archaea, bacteria, protists, animals, plants, fungi. And abiotic components, all non-living components come under it: water, light, air, minerals, soil, temperature. Ecosystems can be classified in different manners. So now we are going to see the next topic in our unit, that is classification of ecosystem. So we can classify ecosystem based on different categories. So the first thing we can classify ecosystem is based on the exchange of matter and energy. Exchange of matter and energy. So based on the exchange of matter and energy, the ecosystems are classified into two types. One is open ecosystem. Second one is closed ecosystem. So the open ecosystem, it is a free exchange of matter and energy. Coming to the closed ecosystem, no exchange of what matter and energy will take place. So in the open ecosystem, we can see free exchange, and in closed ecosystem, we can see no exchange of matter and energy. And the other type of classification we have is based on their creation. Ecosystems are classified into two types based on the creation. So first one is a natural ecosystem and second one is man-made ecosystem. So natural ecosystem are, which we know it is from the natural origin. So forest, grassland, marine, river ecosystems come under the natural ecosystem, which are formed natural itself. Man-made ecosystems, these are created by human. These are created by humans. Artificial or man-made ecosystems. So examples are like agro ecosystem, rural ecosystem and urban ecosystem. So based on the creation, the ecosystem is classified into two types. One is the natural, how it is originated from natural itself, and also second one is an man-made or artificial. And the other type of classification we have is based on habitat. So based on habitat, ecosystem is classified into two types: terrestrial ecosystem and aquatic ecosystem. So examples for the terrestrial ecosystems like forest, grassland and desert. Aquatic ecosystem examples come under pond, lake, wetland, river. So we'll see detailing what is terrestrial ecosystem. So terrestrial itself means it's a land area. So it refers to the interaction between abiotic and biotic components present on land area. Ecosystem is nothing but interaction between biotic components and abiotic components, that is living components and non-living components. So where we see this interaction on land area, the interaction between biotic and abiotic on land area, we term it as a terrestrial ecosystem. Now, again, this terrestrial ecosystem is subclassified into three types. One is grassland, forest, and desert. Coming to the second classification, it is of aquatic ecosystem. So the ecosystem is developed on fresh and marine water. So the interaction of the biotic and non-biotic components which we see in a water or a fresh water or a marine water, we call it as a aquatic ecosystem. So it is a pond, lake, river, and marine ecosystems come under the aquatic ecosystem. So based on the habitat, we have two types. One is terrestrial ecosystem, which is on land area, and the second one is aquatic ecosystem, which is in water. Now we'll see structure of ecosystem. So structure generally refers to parts or components of ecosystem. So ecosystem consisting of two important components, as we know, it is a biotic component and abiotic component. Biotic components or structure. The first one is biotic components or structure. So here it comes plants, animals and microorganisms present in an ecosystem. Based on how do they get their food? So the first one under the biotic components or the structure is the producers. They are mainly green plants. So green plants we call it as producers. So they synthesize food by making use of CO2 present in the air and water in presence of sunlight. This we call it as photosynthesis. So it involves the chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is nothing but a green pigment present in the leaves. So the producers are nothing but a green plants. It will synthesize its own food by using carbon dioxide in the air and also the water in presence of sunlight. So some microorganisms also produce the organic matter through oxidization in the absence of sunlight. So they are known as chemosynthetic organisms. And one more we have is the chemoautotropic sulfur bacteria. What these thing they do is they make use of the heat generated by the decay of radioactive elements present in the earth core on ocean depths. So use this heat to convert the dissolved H2S and CO2 into organic compound. So they will be converting H2S and CO2 into a organic compounds. So under producers we have a green plants and also some microorganisms like chemosynthetic organisms and also the chemoautotropic sulfur bacteria, which what they do is they convert the H2S and SO2 under ocean depths into the organic compounds. Second level is the consumers. So all organisms which get their organic food by feeding upon the other organisms, that we call it as consumers. So under consumers we have herbivores, carnivores. Herbivores we know it is a plant eaters and carnivores is a meat eaters. So herbivores are the plant eaters. They feed directly on the producers. We know what are producers. Producers are the green plants. So the herbivores directly feed on the producers. Hence also known as primary consumers. So under consumers, herbivores we term as the primary consumers. Example, rabbit, insects, birds, etc. Coming to the second one, that is meat eaters, carnivores. They feed herbivores. They are called secondary consumers. Example, frogs. They feed other carnivores. They are called tertiary consumers. Under consumers, we have Secondary consumers and tertiary consumers. Secondary consumers are nothing but which feed on the herbivores, and other carnivores are like they feed on the other carnivores. So that is tertiary consumers. Examples: snakes, wolves, big fishes, etc. And finally we have is omnivores under the consumers. So they feed both on plants and animals. So example: humans, rats, frogs, and many birds. So they feed on the producers as well as consumers. And decomposers are like they derive their nutrition by breaking down the complex organic molecules into simple organic molecules. The decomposers, what they do is they simply break down the large molecules or the organic molecules into a simple organic molecules. So the examples come here is a bacteria, fungi are the decomposers. So these all things we have seen under the biotic components. Now what are abiotic structure? So abiotic components are the non-living components of an ecosystem. It includes air, water, soil, minerals, sunlight, temperature, nutrients, wind, altitude, turbidity, etc. So all the non-living components come under the abiotic structure. So these are the references which I have referred. Thank you.